Okay, here we go. The Pen and Maggie Show.
He's about to get crazy and wild. Stay for a while. Don't touch your radio dial.
Pen and Maggie Show.
Kicking it back, sports talk. Listen to that and stay tuned for some giggles and laughs. Go.
Hi, I'm Bill Smith. You can't find me anywhere. I used to come in the building every day. Now, I might as well be a ghost. Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Planet Mikey Show.
And why didn't you voice your own thing there?
Do you know whose voice that was?
No, who was that?
Is that Isaiah?
Take a few guesses.
Pete Shepard?
It's someone you know.
Dan Deerdorf?
Or at least someone you know of.
Greg Hill?
No.
Jason Wolf?
Nope, keep going.
Tom Landry?
Nope.
Muhammad Ali?
Who was it?
Nope.
Just tell us. Someone we know from Entercom?
Andy Gresh.
Oh, the guy who still sounds fat even after he lost 180 pounds.
Yes.
Still sounds fat. I haven't heard him in a while, though. Where's he been?
I don't know. I don't keep up with him.
Where?
I wasn't sitting there waiting for him to land his new job.
You know, I'm shocked they didn't call me, from Odyssey and say, you know what, we have a 1.4 share at night. Would you like to come back for half the money?
They said you couldn't work at any Entercom station anymore, but it's no longer Entercom.
No. They said you couldn't apply.
Oh.
I couldn't apply.
But
I mean, they can't call me and say, we need to get at least a 5 at night. You used to get 10s, 8s, 12s. We want to come back? No, they don't do that because they didn't want to pay me, the $195,000 a year.
That was chump change back then.
It's Bill Smith, everybody. Voiced by Andy Gresh.
He did that when he was supposed to read a commercial one day and I wasn't around.
Really?
And he wondered where the hell I was.
He's funny. See, he's funny. He's got that ironic sense of humor and all that weight.
When the hell is Smitty coming back to the radio station?
Never.
Oh, we also have Ben Kitchen over here, Ben Sweden, Bangkok, and he's got his computer, and he's kind of got a little. I think maybe he's got his period today or something. You're a little bit tired.
No, I don't
tired?
think so.
Is that what it is?
Exhausted.
Ben's being reserved.
Terribly sick.
So you're going to let his tiredness, Smitty, impact the Planet Mikey podcast because he's going to have an even more lackadaisical ne'er-do-well attitude than he usually has.
You mean it's going to drag down the show?
A bit.
This
Can't
usually
drag it down much further.
fun and exciting.
You know what? You could drag it down a lot. Just we want you to come next week and drag.
Oh, no.
Huh?
Thrill a minute. Yep.
Boy, would he be ugly girl or what?
Ben?
He's not even a good-looking guy.
I don't know.
No, I'm kidding.
Got nice boobs.
In this room? What are we talking about here?
In any room.
Nah.
We're brought to you by...
What do you look like?
Huh?
A blocked punt?
That's what Raditz said.
Block punt. We sound like men, don't
Hey, STFU, Ben. STFU. Brought to you by Pro Automotive of Webster and Dudley. ProAutomotiveMA.com is their, and that's where you want to get in touch with. By the way, you want to make an appointment to have your car fixed. Go to ProAutomotiveMA.com. Grab the telephone number. I don't know it off the top of my head because I have it in my phone.
Yeah.
Call Morgan. She's the one that really runs the operation down there. Although, we know that there's a guy who owns it and who's in charge of the whole thing, Jason Russo. But
He's probably on the yacht.
But he
today,
works.
yeah.
He's out there doing stuff. I mean, he's fixing stuff and telling how people other fix. Morgan is the one you make the appointment with, and then they will fix whatever ails your car. We have a jingle to that effect, don't we? Don't we have a little song that goes like that?
Well, I don't know. Yes, we do.
But you don't have.
If it's under the car, if it's under the hood, go to Pro Automotive.
It'll turn out good. See that? And listen to the roar of that engine.
That's right. Well, that's your car out there, isn't
Yeah.
it? The one they fixed?
Ben's Yugo doesn't sound like that when he revs the engine.
Nope. That's what it sounds like.
All right. Now, my grandma's coffee cake, there is none better. Blueberry. I've had so many blueberry cakes. I mean, I've had a lot of the pineapple coconut ones from mygrandma.com.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of trying something all new next time. Maybe Granny Smith apple. It sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Interesting. Granny Smith from My Grandma.
Granny Smith.
Yeah.
But Granny Smith, the original apple lady, the green apples?
Yeah.
I banged her.
Oh. Is that where we get applesauce from?
If you want. It's a special order, though.
Oh, gross.
So I had an incident with my tooth. This is a quick story for you people. You guys have teeth? I have a tooth that it was probably 15, 20 years ago.
Hold on, is this a story?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, you don't need music. For
Oh, yeah, we need to
friggin' tooth
so we color it up a little bit, add a little narrative.
It's a
to it.
freaking tooth story.
And now the tooth story from Mike Adams.
Yes, welcome back to Roots. I had a root canal in this tooth a long time ago, and it was covered with what do they put, a cap, a crown. They put a crown on it to, for years it's been great. And I chew on the left side like 82% of the time. Huh? I'm a left side chewer. So that's where it is. So the other day, this is so weird. My son had donuts. He bought a Dunkin' Donuts. I grabbed the jelly donut. I bite into it.
A nice, soft, squishy jelly donut.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, my left side of my face starts to puff up. Like it's like someone was pumping it with a basketball. Pump. Shoots out. I said, what the hell's going on in my face? Huh? It was weird. Turns out, under the tooth, which has been there for a long time, something going on, some kind of infection, like a tooth infection.
Wow. It came on that fast.
It came on fat. Well, I must have irritated it or something by chewing a donut.
The sugar?
So, yeah.
Maybe.
So I'm like, oh. So I said, this isn't right. I knew something was under the I didn't really panic.
You're not going to sue Dunkin' Donuts.
No, it wasn't their fault. So they're
Maybe there was something in that donut.
They skimmed the jelly off the top of the ocean, and it's toxic. No, what happened was, so I call my dental office, and I say, this is weird. I think it's a tooth infection or something like that. I'm going to need antibiotic to reduce, because when you go to the dentist, they don't want you to come in there with an infection. They want you to get rid of it, then come in and do the work.
Now, let me ask you this. Were you in pain?
No, it was just swelling. My head was so swelled up, it was bizarre.
Yeah.
And you knew that something's wrong, physically.
When your head swells up, yeah.
So I call them at 8:30 in the morning, right? Sunday morning. I call the emergency number they give you on my dentist phone. And I'm not going to mention my dentist, okay? Did I already mention my dentist?
Tim Watley?
Didn't give their name. So I call this, and the lady goes, oh, well okay, it's 8:30 in the morning. Well, we'll call you back in an hour. I said, okay. So I wait an hour. Nothing. 2 hours. After 3 hours, I call back. Lady says, yeah, I haven't been able to get in touch with the doctors yet. I'll call you back in an hour. I said, well, that's what you told me 3 hours ago. I said, this is an emergency line here? This is how people react to emergencies? Everybody be dead if that's the way it was.
Meanwhile, while you were waiting, was your head swelling even larger?
Yeah, I took ibuprofen and reduced the swelling, and I didn't eat anymore to make it. So I didn't exacerbate the problem. I didn't exacerbate it all. So here's what happens now. Okay, now it's later in the day, 3 hours later, whatever. Finally, she calls me back. She says, well, the doctor says that you have to go to the ER or to urgent care to get an antibiotic. I said, well, why didn't you tell me that 3.5, 4 hours ago? I could have been at the urgent care, waiting in line. So I go to the urgent care. I drive up to Hudson. I'm in Hudson. I'm in a waiting room with about 14 sick people, waiting for my chance. Hour and a half I wait.
They probably have bird flu.
I wait an hour and a half to see the doctor, right up there. So okay, now I've seen the doctor. I said I need she agreed. She calls in the prescription to Walgreens. So I get in the car and I'm starting to drive to Walgreens to get this because I want to be able. I couldn't eat. You can't eat, right? I'm driving to Walgreens. The phone rings. It's the dentist. Dentist wants to know your date of birth and which drugstore you go to because she's going, okay. I said, it's too late. I already got it. I'm going to pick it up right now. And it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I called you at 8:30, and now you're calling me back with this remedy. I took care of it, thank you, on your instructions to go to the urgent care. Sorry. I missed a whole day of football because of that.
Damn it.
And I was pissed. So now I go back to the dentist. Finally, after 9 days of taking the antibiotic, I go to the dentist, and they're telling me, oh, well, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to pull that tooth, put an implant in there. First, we got to do a bone graft, and then an implant. How much? $5,963.
You probably don't need to do that.
I said, guess what? That tooth's gone. Yeah. I'm not doing that. $6,000 tooth? How old do you think I'm going to live to be? You know what I mean? What's that? What if I had 24 teeth in my head and they all needed to be replaced? It'd be $150,000.
You'd be great at giving gummies.
I'd be smiling all the time. Look at these teeth, huh? $26,000 for these things. And only thing that's wrong with them is I spit sometimes when I say S's.
You'd look like an old prospector.
I am an old prospector.
You starting to get there.
I'll hit you with my pick, a toothpick. So anyway, that's my tooth story. And, I miss Dr. Lomborg. When I used to go to Dr. Lomborg, I had to drive all the way down to, what's that town on the shore up near Scituate? I had to drive really far.
Cohasset.
No, the one where
Hull?
Glenn used to live. It begins with an H or something like that.
Hull?
No.
Oh,
And it doesn't matter.
yeah, I know what you mean.
But Dr. Lomborg was a
Hanover.
great Hanover. Thank you.
Hingham.
He was a great dentist, and he was a professional. And he was a fun and nice guy. You talk to him and have a good time. He's a gentle, kind person.
And a
Holliston?
great ball player as well.
Just going to keep naming H-towns.
You know how old Jim Lomborg is?
84.
In April, he'll be 83.
Ah.
All right, now, on from my tooth.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. That was an incisive conversation.
It's the incisor? Is that what the two?
You know, I had a dental hygienist once. I swear to God, this is true. Her name was Flossie. I swear to God. What do you think of Trump saying that he wants to put Canada as the 51st state? First of all, give me your thoughts, Ben. You're a quasi-liberal.
Canada? Why?
Why?
What do we want with them?
What are you talking about?
They're a nice little buffer. Keep them there where they are.
They're rich with natural resources. Why can't we take each?
Yeah, they're so good at that. We want to bring them in because they've been so great at handling their natural resources.
No. Why don't we take that? Well, you know what? It's also a tax base, and every province could be a state, and then you could have a governor of, say, Nunavut. You could have a governor of British Columbia. You could have a governor of Saskatchewan. That would be someone with no teeth. You know what, Glenn? You know what? What's his name? LB told me about, because he's from Saskatchewan.
Yep.
Lyndon Byers?
He said, yeah, LB. He said, you know what they used to do on weekends in Saskatchewan because there's not that much to do? What? I said, he said, you drive 80 miles to the Holiday Inn and use the swimming pool. Is that the weakest shit you ever heard?
And you want this place as a state?
Well, all of them. I mean, look, Montreal is part of Quebec. That's big. That would be big for us. Make it a state. A Republican state with all kinds of Republican governors and Republican representatives.
No. I don't want Canada.
Canada came back and
You
said,
don't
"Oh yeah,
want-
you want to do that? Well, we're going to annex Oregon, Montana, and California."
Take
Canada
Oregon.
If Canada becomes a state,
Yeah.
then there's no more full contact strip clubs. And I don't want that.
Do you know, there it is. There
For
it
me,
is,
for
right?
when I go up
don't
there,
want that, he said. So
It'll be up to the
all
states.
the Tim Hortons will be replaced by Dunkin' Donuts. Actually, that's probably
how many words of "Oh Canada" can you do without making a mistake?
Oh, Canada.
No. See, already 3 words in.
Yeah. I got
My
the two.
home and native
My
land.
home and native
All
land.
right, someday we'll have Joe and Jerry do it at the end of the
Canada,
show. You know, what do you think?
We stand on guard.
That's enough. That's enough. You've already fucked it up. You're out.
You had to let me finish that.
You're
part.
out of the contest.
I am
Okay.
such a good singer. You should have me in your little studio here, Bill.
That's not a bad idea.
not a little
Let's
studio.
do that right now.
Okay, now let me move on to the Panama Canal. Panama Canal.
Yeah, the Panama
Trump says we got to get a better deal there. We built it. I agree with that. Jimmy Carter gave it to the Panamanians for $1,
Yep.
which was the worst ripoff in the history of global geographics.
He's trying to be like El Presidente.
But Jimmy Carter, what's he doing? Speaking
dead.
of teeth,
He's
he,
dead.
yeah, he is.
He is.
He's not doing anything.
He'd be dead.
Those teeth were unbelievable. He should have sold ad space on them after he retired from the presidency. He would have made a fortune. So your thoughts on Panama Canal? Should we take it back, or should we just force them to give us a better deal?
We built it. We paid for it. So many guys died from malaria down there. Like 10,000 people died in the construction of that thing.
Really?
Yeah. And I would say, the death rate was unbelievable, mostly from the malaria, which now they have a cure for. I think it's called ivermectin.
Well, and they could change the name of it. If you must change the name of the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America, we could change the Panama Canal. But you know what you do? Put all dentists along the banks and call it the Root Canal. Anyway,
No, I just get a better deal on it. You don't want to deal with all the other bullshit that comes with it. Just get a better deal on it.
well, that's probably the smart.
Take more money without having to do it.
But if they don't give you that deal, you take it back because we built it and we have bigger guns.
Hold on, man. There are more strategic things at stake here. It turns out the Panamanians sort of gave it away to the Chinese at the entrance and the exit of the canal is controlled by the Chinese.
Now.
So Trump's thinking, wait a minute.
well, wait.
Hold on. Who's our arch enemy?
They got the entrance and the exit.
Yeah. So
No way out. That's a terrible.
That's like they have your mouth in your ass.
It's similar. ATM.
Oh,
Gozenta, Gozada.
Ass to
it
mouth.
took me a second.
Okay, now.
So you're saying China has Panama ass to mouth?
Pretty much.
Sort of.
Uh-oh.
By the way, now it's time for me to do my only palindrome that I have that refers to Panama.
Now, hold on. Is this a palindrome that you wrote yourself?
No, hell no.
Have you ever written
Oh,
one?
yes.
Oh, you have. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Never odd or even. That's the one I wrote.
You did write that. Is it in a book somewhere?
Yeah, I read it, then wrote it. I wrote it down so I could say I wrote it. Here's the thing. I just reminded myself of Steven Wright when I said, "You wait, I got some Steven Wright for you coming up now." Okay, palindrome, Panama. Ready?
Yeah.
A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. That's the same backwards. Are you amazed?
Amazed. Mind blown.
A man, a plan, a canal,
Panama is the same if you spell it backwards.
Isn't
That the best ever? Huh?
That's pretty good.
Okay, butt wrapped fart tub. Now, you Stephen Wright. Okay, you know what I got like in my mind, the top 25 Stephen Wright quotes.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, no, seriously, they're great because Stephen Wright is freaking funny, and he's from Burlington, Massachusetts.
All right, go ahead.
You want me to give him to you? I'd kill for a Nobel Peace Prize. Ben, that's where you're supposed to go. Always borrow money from pessimists. They don't expect to get it back. Half the people you know are below average. 99% of lawyers give the rest a bad name. 82.7% of statistics are made up on the spot. Okay. I don't do it as well as he does. A conscience is what hurts when all your other parts feel so good. A clear conscience is usually a sign of a bad memory. I almost had a psychic girlfriend, but she left me before we met. Okay, so what's the speed of dark? Now think
I like
about
that.
I know. I love that.
How do you tell when you're out of invisible ink? See, he asks questions that are thoughtful questions.
It's true.
That no one else ever asked before.
Sort of like George Carlin would come up with something like that.
Depression is merely anger without enthusiasm.
That's pretty much.
I intend to live forever. So far, so good. See, I love that kind of humor.
Yeah.
Quick. I don't like people who have long stories, comedians that get up there to tell these long stories to get to a payoff that's not worth the wait. I like the quick hitters, you know?
There's some like Dave Chappelle's a great storytelling
I agree.
comedian
Yes.
because he'll add little jokes along
Yeah,
the
that's
way.
augmentation as he goes to make it worth it. But most of those stories, someone tells you a long joke, it's not worth it. No. All right, here we go. Stephen Wright, ready? What happens if you get scared half to death twice? Huh? Did you ever think about that?
We got a bunch of them here too.
My mechanic told me I couldn't repair your brakes, so I made your horn louder. Why do psychics have to ask you for your name? This is good. This is true, too. You ready? The hardness of the butter is proportional to the softness of the bread, which is so true.
He's got that right,
Hard
yeah.
roll, it doesn't matter how hard that butter is. You stick. The problem with the gene pool is there's no lifeguard.
And there's no deep end.
I did this today. I had a scan today. I got it on one of those. The colder the X-ray table, the more of your body is required to be on it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you.
That's a great one.
Yeah. And here's my last one. You ready? If your car could travel at the speed of light, would your headlights work? Right?
It's a small world, but I wouldn't want to have to paint
Wouldn't
it.
want to paint it. Yeah.
Anyway, everywhere is within walking distance if you have the time.
See, again, he can just go skip like I did, a list of and just say them in a row, and they're all funny.
Yep.
All right, now, excuse me. We were talking about the Greenland, Panama Canal, and Canada statehood because these are three Trumpian ideas that I'm in support of.
Yeah.
All of them. But here's something I'm not in support of. Joe Biden has said just 2 days ago, 600,000 Venezuelans and more than 230,000 Salvadorans already here in the U.S. under the TPS protected status thing can stay for another 18 months. Now, you know and I know that the 18-month thing doesn't mean shit because they don't ever leave. No one leaves when they're given temporary protected status.
Right. Yep.
So that's almost 1 million people there. Just boom. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can. So what are they doing with that? Well, they're making us pay. They're making us pay. Now, and why Venezuela, where they have they're trying to figure out who the president is, and the guy that challenged the president, his son's kidnapped in Caracas, and he's exiled. And then everybody's saying, oh, he didn't win that election. The guy Maduro, was that his name?
Yeah.
He didn't win it. It was stolen and all. There's a mess down there, and never mind, all the criminals are just leaving there and coming here for TPS, to be totally protected status.
They actually opened the prisons and told them, you can stay in jail or you can go to America. That's what they did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And guess what? You know, a lot of these crimes, they're being committed because the criminals are the first people, they're going to run for their lives to come here.
That's why the crime rate in Venezuela is so low right now.
Because they don't have any.
They're all up here, yeah.
Would you rather? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
I was going to ask you, would you rather have Panama or Greenland?
Well, I'd take both. Because how are you going to get to Greenland without cutting through that Panama Canal?
Both are strategic.
Why would we? We're in Boston. We don't need to go to Panama Canal to go to Greenland.
No, not us, but other people do.
I don't care about them.
What about the Californians that got burned? Maybe they want to go to Greenland where there are no fires.
Go the long way.
About 1 million immigrants from 17 different countries are protected by TPS,
That's correct.
including Venezuela, Haiti, as we know,
Oh, yeah.
Honduras, Nicaragua, Afghanistan, Sudan, Ukraine, Lebanon. Venezuela is one of the largest beneficiaries of that rule. The extension runs till October 2nd, 2026. And guess who's paying for it? You,
Joe
me,
Biden out
and
of his
you,
own
and a
pocket.
dog named Boo.
Yeah.
Which might be, I think, the worst song ever. Don't you think?
Now, hold on.
Me and You and a Dog Named Boo by Lobo.
Did you hear about this? Donald Trump. He's at it again. Far too long we've relied on taxing our great people using the Internal Revenue Service. Through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements, the American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world while taxing ourselves. It's time to make that change. I am today announcing, this is a true thing, I will create the External Revenue Service to collect our tariffs, duties, and all revenue that come from foreign sources. We'll begin charging and making money off of, We'll begin charging.
This is the guy who reads commercials.
Charging those. I can't see it so far away. You bastard. Mike making fun of me. I'll come over there and kick your ass right now here on this podcast.
You usually don't
He
make
will.
mistakes.
I've had it.
Like, do that one you do all the time. We give a poop about your pipes. Do that one for us.
We
on.
give a poop about your pipes. How's
He's
that?
the voice of the poop of the pipe thing. What was that? John James and Drain? What's his name?
John James. Yes.
James-
Drains by James.
James by James.
And they are really, they are a good company.
Of course
too.
they are.
Yeah,
They're
they're
great. You wouldn't do commercials for some shit company.
well, many times I have, but not these guys. They're the real thing.
So what you're saying is there's going to be an external revenue service.
The External Revenue Service, it's starting January 20th, 2025. The birth date of the External Revenue Service, Make America Great Again.
See, I think it's a great idea.
you go.
Why not? Why should we pay shit? We live here. Right, Ben?
I agree.
Can't we just take over the world already?
I think it's a good idea.
Didn't we
But
do
in a
that?
nice way, not with guns. Tell them, you know what? If you join us here, then we won't have to bring out our guns.
It's that simple.
Now, here's a story that you're going to love. You know how Maura Healey and other such incompetent people have opened this state to
You mean the governor of our fine
Yeah.
state, the Commonwealth?
opened it up to hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants. 1 out of every 5 person in Massachusetts now is born somewhere else. Now, here's the thing. Boston Traffic, because she said, okay, we got to give all these people their licenses so they can go work and not pay taxes. We're going to give them all their licenses, all these people. So they hire interpreters at the Department of Motor Vehicles, a lot of money, taxpayer money, to increase the staff and have them speak 19 different languages so we can give everybody here illegally their driver's license. And guess where they go? They go on the road with their cars that they don't pay for insurance on, and they clog up the highway. So right now, in America, the fourth worst city for traffic is Boston. And we all know that anyway, because we suffer through it on a regular basis.
I'm surprised it's as low as fourth.
New York City, Chicago,
Hey.
because people in Chicago have to go around the crime zones to get anywhere.
That's right.
Los Angeles, now God knows what's going to go on there. Boston is fourth worst traffic in America. Philadelphia, Miami, Houston, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., all of which the traffic sucks.
Oh, yeah.
But we have moved up the chart to number 4 in the country as far as bad traffic. What are your thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Thank you, Maura Healy.
And you know, in New York, they've got that congestion charge in New York City. Anybody that goes into the city has to pay $9.
Yeah. It's
more like 15.
Well, it was going to be 15, and then Kathy Hochul comes out and says, "No, I'm
No.
making it 9. I've saved you a lot of money."
I'm going to save you 60%.
The mayor of Boston, Kevin White, used to pull tricks like that.
Well, in New York, they got all kinds of things. You know, I told you, did I tell you about the guy that had 87 arrests, and they let him out? He's the guy that was stabbing people in the subway. They let him out. They let him out because, I don't know, 87 arrests. And that's somebody you can't keep in prison?
If only there were 88 arrests, they'd be able to keep him, I think.
He stabbed a 31-year-old on the number 2 train. Now, this is a guy who, first of all, he's a menace to society. But you would think after 30 arrests, maybe 20,
Maybe 10.
they'd say, you know, you're in jail and you're going to stay in jail. No, they wait and they let him back out until he has 87 charges.
That's
against
ridiculous. I thought it was 33 strikes and you're out.
Well, you know, he's not even a third of the way there. So that's a couple of things I wanted to spout off about because I don't like anything that doesn't make sense.
Thanks, Mike.
I really don't. I mean, things that don't make sense fiscally shouldn't be part of our tax burden. Now, in Massachusetts, they've announced, or one lady in the legislature announced, she's putting a bill in there that calls for the taxation of sugar drinks.
Really?
Yeah. So now, you're already paying for a deposit. Remember they made you get a deposit on each can and bottle?
Oh, yeah.
So you're paying that. And how many people, do you return all your bottles to the...
No.
I don't either.
I don't buy that shit.
I recycle them, but I don't return them
Yeah.
for a nickel or whatever it is. Because, you know, is it worth a trip to the thing? No. So now they tax you that way for environmental reasons, which, okay, we're used to that now, the bottle bill and all that stuff. But they're going to put a tax on it if it has sugar in it, which is Coke, Pepsi, Sprite,
Pretty much everything.
iced tea,
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, everything, right? Now there's going to be. They're not. It hasn't happened
Hold on, now,
yet.
what do they plan on doing with this extra revenue once they get it?
They want to fight fatness. You know, they want to do something. Because I think the lady said because obesity is a problem. And okay, well,
Oh, wait a minute. It's not extra money to house the illegals or anything, is it?
no. Well, it could be eventually. You never know. In Massachusetts, they take it, put it wherever they want to for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Oh, the legislature needs a raise.
How many times have they told us it's for the children?
I'll be honest. I'm really kind of sick of fat people.
You hate him?
I'm starting to kind of hate fat people.
Oh,
like, I
seriously?
mean, really fat people that, like, it's a disease. No, you can walk and eat a salad and you can start to help yourself out with it.
Well, you
You're
could.
taking away resources, doctors' time from people that have cancer,
That's
from
right.
people that have real diseases.
Sure.
Because you're
kids-
just lazy.
Yeah. if
And
you could
some
don't-
of you have a glandular issue. Sure, fine, but you can still work on that on your own without a doctor
Yeah.
or someone telling you that, hey, because you're such a fat fuck and you won't put down the sugary drink, we're going to tax everyone.
And
'Cause of you
somewhere along
fat
the line,
bastards.
you decided that you didn't mind being a fat fuck.
That's a
It's-
you problem.
Yeah, well, of course it is. It's there's no control. They have no self control. You know, it's like why don't we just let people poop in the street? Oh wait, San Francisco, they already have that. If you can't control your bodily functions, and eating it, by the way, is what I tend to do is late at night, I'll sit in front of the TV and I'll forget that I'm eating these peanut butter stuffed pretzels until the bag's gone, and then I go, that's
But
habitual.
what do you do the next day? You go and run.
I go buy another bag of this peanut butter
You
stuff.
run to the store
Yes.
and buy another bag. But no, you actually do something.
Right.
You run, you exercise.
Yes, and
You
I'm
don't eat,
192 pounds, okay? I used to be 142 when I was 19 years old. I'm 50 pounds 50 years later.
That's
A pound a
about
year.
right.
So I figure by the time I'm 100,
No.
I'm going to be like, 240.
No, when you're 100, you're going to be down to like whatever the weight of your bones is.
Whatever the weight of
You'll have been long dead.
my one tooth I have
Your one
left.
tooth left.
You know. Anyway, hey, you can't stop the aging process. You can't slow down Father Time, Joe. Speaking of Joe and Jerry, we have them here with us again, and they wanted to do a song. I got a request from Joe. He said something about, you know, that song where it was written by Sam Cooke and Otis Redding and Arthur Conley. The song was co-written by the three of them.
I was surprised that Joe didn't know the title of that song.
And I said, oh, Sweet Soul Music, you mean? Yeah, that's it. From 1967. 1967? Do you like good music? Oh, that's sweet soul music. Just as long as it's swinging, Joe. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're out there on the floor, y'all. We're going to a go-go, y'all. Dancing to the music. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Spotlight on Lou Rawls, y'all. Oh, don't he look tall, y'all? Singing loves to him, sing, y'all. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Spotlight on Sam and Dave, y'all. Oh, don't they look great, y'all? Singing, hold on, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah. Spotlight on Wilson Pickett now. That wicked, wicked, wicked Pickett. Singing Mustang Sally. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Spotlight on Otis Redding now. Singing fa 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 Joe. Fa 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 Joe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Play it Otis now. I wanna think it's all out, y'all. Spotlight on James Brown, y'all. I'm losing my voice.
What happened?
I'm losing my voice.
End it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can you believe it? You like good music, Joe? That's sweet soul music, Joe? Just as long as it's swinging, Joe. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to get the feeling, Troop. I got to get the feeling, Troop. Do you like good music? It's great. My voice is doing wheelies.
Is that the end, Mike?
It has to be.